YouTube, I'm back with another video, and in this video I am just gonna go over my favorite types of supply and demand setups, just like the ones I would prefer to take over some of the other setups, but just like which ones I would feel completely confident in winning and would maybe risk a little bit more on these types of setups. So yeah, make sure you guys do join my free Discord. I created it with this guy called Juicy, so it's completely free. Today was crazy, like we had 20 plus people on the call. We were all just chatting and trading together. We did catch a nice GU setup, which we won. So make sure you guys do join, completely free. We don't want anything from you guys. And last thing I want to say is thank you for the support. You guys have been going crazy. We started this YouTube channel like 2 months ago and we're already almost on 500 subs. We're averaging like close to 1,000 views every video now. So I just want to say thank you so much. And yeah, let's get into the video. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to go over like the supply and demand setups that I would prefer to take, which ones I might even risk more, and which ones I feel completely confident in, which ones I'd be like, I know it's going to hit TP. So yeah, I'm just going to go over those and just the things that need to be there. So the first thing that needs to be there has to be a gap coming out of the supply or demand setup. So in this setup that I'm going to show you guys, if you look here, if you draw the 1 hour demand right here, you take this arrow and you can just look. There's the bearish candle pushing down. Then we have the next candle bullish that is completely breaking out that zone. Then from there, where my cursor is, to there is the gap. For me, that is high probability, and my setups have to have that gap. Then the next thing is there must be a 5-minute breaker structure. So this is the 1 hour, there is breaker structure right here and stuff, but I'm going to show you on the 5-minute where there is. So if we just quickly go to the 5 minutes, there is a breaker structure right here. Same place, same line as this. Right over here is breaking structure to the upside. So we need to come back down and shoot up. Okay, so we have the 1 hour marked out, the 1 hour demand. Then we go to the 15-minute and we look, okay, so we have a demand right over here that we can mark out. So there's the first demand. Then we have a second one down here. So whichever one respects, because they're both inside the 1 hour demand. So whichever one respects, I'm going to look at more. So then we drop to the 15-minute, seeing that we have a demand inside, a 15-minute demand inside the 1 hour. Then we go drop down here and we go, okay, so there's a demand right over here. You can draw it over two of the candles. There's a demand right over here. You can draw it over these two. And then there's a demand down here. So I'm just going to clear this chart real quick, just so it looks neat, so we can just see which one could respect. So when it comes down into these down here, it will be in a 1 hour, 15-minute, and 5 minutes. This is just a 5-minute setup. So we see it comes down, and right now we're in a 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 5 minutes. So this is what I would do. Seeing that we tapped into the 5-minute demand, we are rejecting from it, I would get in at break of the candle right here. Then I just have 1-to-1 marked up. Then I'm also going to look, okay, we have gaps here, 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 and here that need to be filled. And we have liquidity sitting up top here. So I'm going to have 1-to-1 marked out over here. And then I'm going to leave a runner to fill in the rest of these gaps here. So let's just see what happens. Everything gets, tapped, and we hit complete TP, filling in all the gaps, grabbing the liquidity up here and still pushing up. So this is why I like setups that are inside a 1 hour, 15-minute, and 5-minute. They give me more confidence, and I'd rather take these setups. This one is like going through the 200 EMA right here. So we are kind of a little bit no full trend that like doesn't get shown. But if we just go to like the higher time frames and stuff, we are below the 200 EMA, so we are bullish. So yeah, that's what I look at. Okay, let's go over to the next chart. So same thing, we go to the 1 hour. Okay, let me just move this. Okay, we go to the 1 hour. So the 1 hour is looking a little bit bearish. We are below the 200 EMA. But if we scroll down here, we look, okay, it's tapping into a 1 hour demand, swept, it broke, left a gap. What am I saying? Left a gap. And then we have liquidity sitting up here, plus gaps over here that need to be filled. So once we have the 1 hour marked out, we drop to the 15 minutes, and then we go, okay, there's a 15 minutes right over here, and right over here. They both have gaps, so we're going to drop to the 5 minute now, and see which one gets respected. Then there's the 5 minutes that you would have it marked out over here, but let's just see what happens. Came, literally tapped in, wicking out. All you needed to do was get out at break. And if you look at it and you're taking it from here, you can actually hit the replay of it. We have liquidity sitting up top here, and we have gaps right over here that need to be filled now. So these need to be filled. So we just take it. I'll mark out the 5 minute zone. Okay, well, yeah, that is the 5 minute zone. Literally just tapping in, and we get in a breaker structure, break of the candle, and there we go, 101 hit. And it filled in all these gaps up top here and came for the liquidity. So you could have left a runner as well. You could have left a runner all the way up to there, catching like a 1 to 5. Okay, let's move on to the next chart. So these are setups that I like. We're below the 200 EMA. We like just tapping onto the 200 EMA. We got a 15 minute demand. We've got a 1 hour demand, and we've got gaps up top here that need to be filled. Okay, moving on to our third chart. So just looking at it, we have a demand right here because there's a gap, and then we broke structure to the upside here, and we are bullish just looking at the chart. But there is a lot of gaps below here that need to be filled. Let me just remove this quickly. Okay. There are a lot of gaps below that need to be filled. So let me just paste this real quick. Okay, then we follow our rules. So there's a 1 hour. So we've got it marked out. So we're going to drop to the 15 minute now. The 15 minutes, okay, the 15 minutes doesn't have anything. There is a demand here, but it's low probability because we didn't blast out the zone, leaving a gap. So there is nothing on the 15 minute. Let's drop to the 5 minute. Then on the 5 minute, there doesn't seem to be anything else inside the zone except for down here. But let's have that marked out and see what happens. This setup is a 1 hour as well. There's no 15 minutes. Following rules, we're below the 200 EMA. We had a breaker structure. We have gaps. We have liquidity sitting up top here. So we're just looking for a setup or an entry of the 5 minute. Let's see what happens. It did not tap into the 5 minute. Let's see if it actually taps. This is going to happen sometimes where you're going to have a 1 hour. You could even have a 15 minute demand, but it never comes to your 5 minute entry time frame. So this was the 5 minute demand, and it didn't come down to that, so there was no entry, but it moved exactly how we wanted it to. Grabbing liquidity, filled this gap in, and it respected the 1 hour demand, grabbing all this liquidity here. So this will happen sometimes where you just don't get a setup. Moving on to the next one on AU. So AU, okay, let me just hit the replay. So same thing, we got a 1 hour demand, tapping in, then we drop to the 15 minutes. Let's see what the 15 minutes saying. There's the 15 minute, actually there's the 15 minutes, so there is no 15 minutes because it's low probability. And then if we just go back, there is actually no 5 minutes. So this is a setup that's just a 1 hour, but let's let it play out. And this was today. So this was literally just a 1 hour that came in, tapped, and literally shot all the way up. This was a 1 hour. There was no entry on the 5 minutes, so you had to have just taken this on the 1 hour, but we take our entries on the 5 minutes. So I'm just showing you guys that this can happen, where you'll have a 1 hour supply or demand, but you won't find a 5 minute or 15 minutes, so there's no entry. But yeah, moving on to the next one, which is GU. Then I'm going to show you guys setups like this, where there is no higher time frame confluence. So we are literally on a downtrend on GU. This happened today. We got this setup live on the Discord. There is gaps that need to be filled here and here that need to be filled. And we are coming from a downtrend, coming all the way down. So we dropped to the 15 minute, and let's see. 15 minute isn't saying too much. There is a low probability supply, but low probability. So we dropped to the 5 minute. This is literally just following trend. We've been dropping for so long. We're just following trend, even though there is gaps above. That's why I just took this setup to a 101. We just following trend below the 200 EMA, and then that's all we took. So we waited for it to come tap, reject it out, and then get in at break of the candle. What we needed is that stops above to 101, and let TP get hit. This is what we took today, and such a clean setup. But then as you look right after, all the gaps above came to get filled. Moving on to the next setup now on GU again. So on GU, just looking at it, let's go to the 1 hour. It's the same thing as all the other setups. We have a 1 hour demand right here. I can paste the rules. So we got a 1 hour demand. Looking into the 15 minute, we've got nothing on the 15 minute. Actually, there is if you draw it over these two candles here, but yeah. So this is pretty much just a 1 hour and a 5 minute setup. And then let's just move that. There is the 5 minute setup. I did take this when it was 11 April. It was long ago, but I did take this setup. And all you do is get in that break, have it 1 to 1. We have gaps that need to be filled in right here. We below the 200 EMA on the 5 minutes, and we below on the 1 hour. And yeah, that's all that happens. TP gets hit. There is liquidity and stuff sitting all up top here, so that's all that happened. TP just came down. It came into the demand, literally tapped, wicked out, and then hit 1 to 1. So these are setups that I just prefer to take. There's gaps and everything that needs to be filled, and it is better if the market literally wicks out the zone like this did here, because it just gives you more confidence that they want to leave the zone and move to a new place, and that's just what happened. And yeah, so these are the setups that I just like taking on a day-to-day basis, and we do catch them. Not all of them are winners though, so yeah. Make sure you guys just keep grinding, keep working hard, and make sure to hit that sub button and like it. And yeah, I appreciate you guys.